This is Ask the Experts. Here's Curran Bhatia.
Curran Bhatia welcoming you into Brooklyn, New York here at the Barclays Center. It's the final press conference for Deontay Wilder versus Robert Helenius. This is an important matchup for both men. Deontay Wilder coming off of back-to-back losses to Tyson Fury, trying to get his career back on track. And Robert Helenius has won his last 3 fights by knockout within 6 rounds. So he's looking to continue that momentum and make a late career resurgence. That's going to happen on Saturday night, October 15th. And of course, on the undercard, Caleb Plant versus Anthony Durrell. Another very intriguing matchup, a must-win for both men. We're going to take you inside Barclays Center. We're going to get access. We're going to talk to Robert Helenius, his coach, and many others. Thank you for being with us. Curran Bhatia here at Barclays Center. It's the final press conference for Robert, the Nordic Nightmare Helenius. Sitting to my left, he's going to be taking on Deontay Wilder. Robert, you embody that Viking spirit, that mentality. You're from Finland, and you said that you feel like if in your past life you were a Viking. How has that come out in your training, in your preparation, and in the boxing ring?
Well, I think when we live like that, we cut our own wood, we fish, we hunt, we grow our food. Like that's the old ways that the Vikings were living, and then we live on a island, and everything is just, it feels good, it feels nature like, and when I'm in the ring I feel like I have the spirit of a warrior, and I don't know how to explain it, but it feels good.
And in terms of feeling good, I mean, that's obviously been helping your career. You've won your last 3 fights by knockout within 6 rounds. You're taking on Deontay Wilder. This is not an easy task, but you've sparred with Deontay Wilder in the past. So how does that help you in your preparation, knowing that you've gone rounds with Deontay Wilder in the past?
Yeah, I don't think of that much, because sparring is always sparring and fighting is different. Of course, you get a feeling how the punches are being thrown and the movement in the ring, but of course, there is some good stuff that came out from that, but because we did a good sparring sessions together. But for this, it's a fight, and we have to be 100% present.
Your last 2 fights, you took on Adam Kovnowski. You were able to knock him out. Now, Wilder is a very different opponent than Kovnowski. Wilder is about a ½ inch taller than you. He's a few years younger. Stylistically, how do you expect this fight with Wilder to be different from your matchups against Adam Kovnowski?
Well, he like you said, he's taller, and he moves much more and a tad faster. So, and it's more explosiveness. I think he has more pop in his right hand than Kovnowski, so we have to watch out for that.
And speaking of that right hand, we know that a few years ago you took the brutal knockout loss to Gerald Washington in 2019. You've recovered from then. You've won 3 straight fights by knockout. Have you made changes since that time to make sure something like that doesn't happen again?
Yeah, I've said in many interviews before, I probably wouldn't have taken that fight because I had a fever and stuff like that. I was sick the whole week before, but I still thought a guy like that I can beat easily, but shit happens,
It certainly does. Saturday night, it's going down, you versus Deontay Wilder. What is your official prediction? Do you see this fight ending in a knockout?
Well, I don't predict knockouts or not, but I'm ready to go 12 rounds if that needs to be.
And final question, I know you're representing Finland, your people. What would be your message to the Finnish people watching?
I hope you turn in on Sunday morning where I'm from.
Robert Helenius, thank you so much, and best of luck against Deontay Wilder. Curran Bhatia here at Barclays Center. It's the final press conference for Deontay Wilder versus Robert Helenius. And Robert Helenius will be brought into battle by Johan Lindstrom, the head trainer. Johan, how are you doing, my friend?
I'm good. Glad to be here.
And you and Robert, of course, made the trip all the way over here from the Åland Islands in Finland, proudly representing Finland. Robert is become, not even a cult hero, just a hero, right? In Finland and Sweden, in the whole region. I mean, can you speak to his popularity over there?
Yeah, it's his popularity is huge because it's hard to go anywhere. On the small island where we live, it's no big deal. We can train. We train at our own gym, our own boxing gym, and it's only 2 persons in the boxing gym. It's me and Robert. So it's only 25,000 people where we live. So we have, but when we go to Helsinki or Stockholm or anything, and on flights and stuff, everybody knows him.
Seems like a peaceful place to train, a place with not a lot of distractions. I know Robert said even during the pandemic, it was a good place to be, not a lot of people around. So in terms of Robert's training, I mean, he's having a career resurgence here. He's won his last 3 fights by knockout, all within the first 6 rounds. Yep. So he's been going through opponents. He took out Adam Kovnowski twice, who is a young up-and-coming heavyweight, and Robert made quick work of him. What do you think about this, career resurgence? I mean, I know he's been around for a long time, but he's overcome adversity and what Robert Helenius has been doing in the ring recently. Yeah,
he's had a long way back because, from different reasons, he had some backlashes and with all injuries and problem with his own with Sauerland and stuff like that. But I took it back to scratch, started building him up from the ground up, doing a lot of strength and conditioning work with him the first years, not really much boxing and getting all the injuries in place and changing up his diet and also getting the mental aspects to get him on a different level in the mental plane. And it's worked for him. So I'm very pleased with that.
And I wanted to ask you about the mental aspects, because I know obviously with the physical aspects you're definitely helping, but you're also helping with the mental aspects. And I know that you've been speaking to him and motivating him. What kind of stuff do you say during training? How do you motivate Robert Helenius?
Well, he's mostly, I have to motivate him with, we have a saying that you cannot use hate as a fuel to fight somebody, not to fight somebody or for a war or something. You have to use love. You don't go up in the ring because you hate the other guy. You go up in the ring because you love what you have behind you. And love is the better motivator. So using his family, the country, our heritage, all that we want, all that we stand for, all that is good, and use that as a motivator to do your best.
And I know that Robert has said if he was born in a previous generation, he would be a Viking, and he feels that Viking spirit in his blood. Is that something that you guys cultivate in training camp and also in the boxing ring, that Viking heart?
Of course, that's our heritage. We're a heritage of warriors, and adventurers. So we're just making this year 1000 we discovered America for the first time, 500 years before Christopher Columbus. So now we're here again, so we say it's the Viking World Tour again.
And I wanted to chat with you about your test on October 15th. Of course, Robert Helenius is going to be taking on Deontay Wilder. He has one of the best right hands in probably in boxing history. He's knocked out a lot of opponents. When Robert took on Adam Kovnowski, right? Adam Kovnowski was the shorter man. He was a volume puncher. It was a very different style, I should say. Now Robert taking on Deontay Wilder. What is the game plan for Robert Helenius when he takes on Wilder?
Well, I can't really tell you about the game plan in detail, but we're going to use a lot of movement and avoiding the right hand, of course, and countering him on that. So we're gonna blast him. So it's gonna be an upset again.
And is there any concern of your part? Deontay Wilder is about a half-inch taller. He's a few years younger. In terms of a physical matchup, any pause on when you were preparing Robert Helenius for this matchup?
Yeah, good cardio, and Robert is really, really strong. So we know that Wilder has a lot of speed and good heart, and a good right hand. But I think Robert has the better IQ. He has more experience, and he has a better jab, and he can set up things more diverse fighter. So I think that's going to be to our part doing good for us.
I know that you have to keep the game plan close to the vest, and that's obviously a very good strategy. I'm just going to ask you one question. You've answered if you can. If you can't, that's no problem. Does Robert Helenius, against Adam Kovnowski, it seemed like he went right at Adam Kovnowski, and he took him out early, 4th round and then 6th round. It seemed to be Adam Kovnowski was not a match for Robert Helenius in his intensity. With Deontay Wilder, we've seen him lull people to sleep maybe and then land the big right hand. Do you think we'll see Robert Helenius going at Deontay Wilder, or do you think he'll maybe work behind the jab, maybe box more? What do we expect to see in the beginning of the fight?
We're going to outbox him. We're not going to rush into something stupid. Running into the right hand in an early stage is just stupid. So we're going to do what we do best. Hit and not be hit. So that's what we're going to stick to, and going to break him down round by round. So that's the plan.
And in terms of getting hit by a right hand, one shot that does stay in recent memory, I think, for everyone was in 2019 when Robert Helenius fought Gerald Washington. There was the right hand landed, and we saw Helenius goes down. He's a big man, so you hear it, hear him go down. He's obviously recovered from that. He's won 3 times since that. Have you made changes with Robert since that fight and made adjustments so something like that does not happen again?
Yeah, of course we had made tactical changes because like now we're going to face the one who has the best right hand in the world, you know. So of course we made some changes, but Gerald Washington, we really don't see that as a defeat. Robert was really sick the week before and was on antibiotics, so he really had the stamina or the focus. So we really don't change much from that fight because it was other circumstances that made him lose focus. So not his boxing skills or his will or anything like that. But of course it's tactical changes to this fight, like more head movement, better defense, and just stay away from the right hand, and he will be okay.
Safe to say that Robert Helenius will be 100% going into this matchup on October 15th?
Yeah, 100%.
Before I let you go, I have to ask you your official prediction. Do you expect to see a knockout in this fight? Do you expect it to go to decision? What do you think is going to happen?
This is definitely going to be a knockout. Either way, it's going to be a knockout.
And final question for you. I know you're proudly representing Finland, as is Robert Helenius. What would be your message to the fans watching from Finland and around the world?
I would say to all of Finns that we have sisu, we have the guts and the grit. So we are not afraid of anything. We're Vikings. We come here to go to war. We're gonna leave nothing in the ring. It's all out. It's victory or Valhalla.
It's well said. And I know we're going to see the Viking spirit on Saturday night, October 15th. It's going down. Robert Helenius is taking on Deontay Wilder. Thank you so much and good luck.
Thank you, man.
Curran Bhatia here at Barclays Center. It's the final press conference for Deontay Wilder versus Robert Helenius. Here with Deontay Wilder's manager, Shelly Finkel. Shelly, how are you doing, my friend?
I'm good, thank you.
And we know that Deontay Wilder is going into combat here against Robert Helenius. I'm sure you advised Wilder on his next opponents after he finished the trilogy with Tyson Fury. What was it about Robert Helenius that you said this could be a good opponent for us?
He is very creditable. I go back a long way with him. At one point when he was younger and undefeated, we were looking to fight him with Vladimir. He's a real opponent. Everyone thought he was a setup for Kronacki, and he proved he wasn't.
He certainly did that. He beat Kronacki twice. You mentioned Vladimir Klitschko. You've worked with some of the best boxers in the last few eras: Manny Pacquiao, Tyson, Klitschko, so many. Where does Deontay Wilder rank in some of the fighters that you've worked with?
He ranks right up there at the top. The thing is, he to me is a big Tommy Hearns. He has inordinate power. There's never been a heavyweight ever, no matter how big a puncher, that has put on the canvas everyone. Even when he didn't knock out Fury, he had him down 4 times. He had everyone else that he's fought. If he didn't knock out in the Stavern first fight, he had him on the canvas. No one, Ernie Shavers, I don't know who else. They always say Ernie Shavers, Foreman. They didn't do that to everyone. They did it to a lot of people, but not everyone. So you have to rate him very high.
And what about, in terms of marketability, his personality? I mean, it's like right there with his physical ability. We heard him with the Bomb Scott today. He's a great talker. He loves, engaging in interviews and doing all that. I mean, what do you think? He's like the total package as a heavyweight.
Yes, he is. And he's a very good human, which is more important. I think history will be very good to him.
And that's the question. Obviously, no one is taking Robert Helenius lightly, but we are in the press conference. It was mentioned Alexander Usyk. Is that a fight that you would like to see next for Deontay Wilder if he is successful on Saturday night?
Sure. Him, Joshua, Ruiz, a step back because it's the mandatory thing. There's a lot of options, but none of it matters if he doesn't perform on Saturday. So I try not to get too far ahead of myself and into these things too much.
And you don't want to get too far with the hypotheticals. Everyone obviously goes back to Wilder versus Joshua, hoping that it would happen in the past. It didn't. You're still hopeful that fight one day could come together.
Sure. Look, if you look at it, he can't. Joshua can't fight Usyk again at this point. So it's either Fury, which he didn't make for December 3rd, or us, in my opinion, of big fights.
You're an observer of what's going on there with Fury and Joshua. You know the details that go on with negotiations. I mean, what are your thoughts of it? Doesn't seem like that fight is coming together. What are your thoughts kind of outside looking in on Fury and Joshua?
It's not happening. And Joshua didn't want it to happen. He won't say it, so Eddie will say it. Or, oh, I left it with my lawyers. I couldn't get it back in time. Whatever it is, it's not done. It hasn't happened. And I've experienced when I want something, it gets done. When Tyson wanted Spinks, Jim Jacobs made it get done. Things happen.
Last question for you, because I know they're closing up here at the press conference. You are a successful boxing manager. You were also successful in the music industry. I'm just curious. You left boxing for a while. What was it about boxing that pulled you back in?
Well, I never left. I just pulled back because I was doing a big music project, but I still handle Deontay and Vladimir.
Shelly Finkel, thank you so much. And that brings us to the end here. Thank you so much for joining me. Thank you to my guest, Robert Helenius, and his team. Shelly Finkel, of course, managing Deontay Wilder. It's going down Saturday night. Deontay Wilder, his comeback fight. He's taking on the Nordic Nightmare, Robert Helenius, and a great undercard as well. For Ask the Experts, I am Curran Bhatia.
Thank you for listening to Ask the Experts with Curran Bhatia.